Hi there. So I wanted to provide you with a analytical essay outline here to help in the preparation of your outlines for the essay questions, for which you will be writing one essay exam next week. This week we're preparing these essay outlines that are meant to provide a demonstration of what you've learned so far in the course related to these essay questions. And an outline provides a great way to prepare a structure for your exam, your essay exam, as well as to tie together a lot of the different pieces of the course for what you've learned, as well as a space in which to springboard off of the main chapter themes and some of our discussion topics to research more of what you're particularly interested in, and tie that into your outlines. So it's a space for you to be creative, and it's a space for you to demonstrate. We're starting off standard essay format here with an introduction, first with a hook, opening statement that both expresses your interest in the topic or a unique viewpoint or something going on in the world that you feel demonstrates what you're going to be talking about. Many different options for a hook statement to open the essay. And then most important out of the whole essay perhaps is the thesis statement. And I have a few key points here to remember about it. Try your best to keep it to one sentence. It should be succinct, and very importantly, it should be specific. And it should be specific in stating your position to the essay question that you're writing the outline about. So each of the essay questions you can see have a particular question embedded in them, and then additional aspects surrounding that question. So your thesis statement really needs to answer that question. And then moving on from there in the introduction, how you're going to demonstrate the thesis statement. So what three main points, for instance, are you going to use to represent or to justify your claim that you're making in answering that essay question? For the rest of the paper, we can see here, the rest of the outline, you'll be transitioning through a main point in which you provide a topic sentence, then state your claim, provide evidence to the claim, and then provide an example. Examples are really great ways to demonstrate your understanding of the evidence you're providing. Of course, citations would be integrated along with the evidence you're providing, citing where you've obtained the information that you're referring to, whether it be class dialogue or which could be in the class discussions in our discussion boards, or the textbook, or a reputable news article. These are all places that you could cite, or the peer-reviewed journal article that we've read, or people draw from many number of sources. Sometimes people will cite their history or anthropology textbook, or maybe you're taking another class that relates and you've learned something in that class and you want to cite that book. So the APA format and MLA format are specified in the syllabus, and there's great resources linked from there. So the other two main points of the essay can proceed in a very similar way. And feel free, if you want to provide almost a counter example or an example of an area that goes against what you're demonstrating. Population growth, population control. If you're trying to illustrate places that have had viable population control or viable population growth measures, and you feel you can demonstrate that China's one-child policy is not a viable solution. Some students argue, and some scholars would argue, that it's too rigid and state controlled, and that it's the way that it, although it has decreased population growth, the way that it constricted society was too heavy-handed. You could provide an example of that as a counter case to other viable population control measures. Control has a heavy connotation there, but perhaps we could think of greater access to forums for women and all people in a society as being a more balanced form of providing opportunities that lead to decreased population numbers. The third point can proceed the same way, and in the conclusion, it's important to paraphrase the thesis statement. Sometimes, you can use the same language, that's okay, but just stating it in a way that's not word for word the same as the thesis statement. And then restating the main points. It's a very common technique in drawing an essay to a close. And then you leave the reader with a sense of closure after that, some sort of closing statement, almost akin to the opposite of the hook that starts off the introduction. So this is one essay outline template that you can use. I'll post the Word document as well, and if you want, you can work right into this. You can download it as many times as you want, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions about this. Thanks so much.